What is going on, members of the Shy Guys squad, and welcome to a tournament. It's an Elite Four. There was this guys called the Elite Four Crew, consisting of Elite Four Dan and Elite Four Tom, who made this a tournament showdown thing, and they called it the Elite Four Crew Showdown tournament that I participated in. And I'm making a video here to run through like my rounds. There was no draft or anything, it was just OU, so you could just bring whatever the fuck you felt like, to be honest. And so I did, and in this entire tournament, there was the preliminaries. We were 32 people. So there was the first round, then there was round 2, quarter, semi, and then finals. So I'm going to show you guys all the replays of the matches that I partook in, and then if I got knocked out at any certain point, then you guys will see that, and I'll let you know how the entire tournament went at the end. But yeah, as we're listening to the Mirai Nikki battle theme, as we usually do, and I'm just going to pop over to the replay, and then you guys are going to see the first replay, which is a match between me and Elite Four Tom, so the first Elite Four Crew person I'm battling. I'm just going to pop over to that replay over here, and then I'm going to get that something like this. I don't know if this looks bad or not, but fuck it. This is what we're going to rock with. Of course, Mirai Nikki battle theme because easy. But yeah, so in this team, I brought Tornadus Therian, Talonflame, Mega Blastoise, Scizor, Raikou, and Clefable. My opponent brought Mega Sableye, Landorus T, the Smeargle, Jirachi, Kyurem Black, and Volcanion. So I'm just going to play with music off, and then we're going to go on normal so I can talk a little bit about the plays and stuff. I don't remember this battle too well. It was like 3 weeks ago. So he's going to lead off with Smeargle, and I'm thinking, okay, Hurricane, easy. And he is going to go for the Spore, which I'm thinking, okay, fair enough. Fair dues. I'm going to try to burn my first turn to sleep as he goes for Trick Room, and this is where I was intrigued. And he starts going for Calm Mind, so I was thinking, okay, this could potentially get very bad, but after all, it's still a Smeargle. And he goes for the Baton Pass. And he passes into Poe, the Volcanion, and I'm just thinking, okay, I'm assault vested, it should be fine. I'm gonna withdraw though. I'm gonna go into my Talonflame. I don't know why he Earth powered there. I was a Tornadus Therian after all. I'm gonna go for Brave Bird. That popped its balloon and I got a crit luckily, which did 59%. Steam Eruption gonna send my Talonflame into Oblivion. Go bye. And then I'm gonna send in my Mega Blastoise. Alright. Just gonna pop that beautiful Mega Evolution and go for Dark Pulse. Dark Pulse doesn't knock him out, and he's gonna go for Sludge Wave, probably his best hitting move against me. Did 44% at +1, shows the tank that Sean is. As he sends in Dipsy, the Kyurem Black. Some can argue that switch in, but I'll take it. So I can send in Skiza, as he goes for a Fusion Bolt, gets a crit, and does that much damage. I was like, boy. So yeah, I'm a leftover Scissor this time, as he goes for a another Fusion Bolt. He doesn't quite knock me out, and I'm just gonna go for a Roost. Okay. I mean, fair enough. I guess I was trying to live something. I go for a Bullet Punch here and knock out the first Mon. So that's quite nice. He goes into Baby Sun, the Jirachi, and you know, Jirachi, I'm thinking, okay, Scar, maybe go for the U-turn and get out of here. As he sets up his rocks, I'm thinking, okay, this is a Rock Jirachi, which means I outspeed him with my Raikage. And he's going to get the lefties. He's that type of Jirachi, so I'm going to go for Thunderbolt, do a clean 40%, as he's going to go for an Iron Head. But I'm faster, as I don't give a shit about his Iron Head flinching shenanigans. And here I'm going to swap out into my Scizor again. I'm assuming I brought Defog? What did I expect here? Lala? Did he name his Pokemon after the Teletubbies? Poe, Dipsy, where's Tinky Winky? I'm gonna go for the Defog though, get rid of them hazards, as he goes for Stone Edge, and then he's gonna withdraw here, go into Tinky Winky. He named his mons after the Teletubbies. And here, Sableye is going to Mega Evolve. I'm gonna go for Scald here, try to fish for that burn. Unfortunately, I do not get it, but he sets up a Calm Mind, and I'm thinking, is this my opportunity to set up with my Clefable? So I do send in Maribel here, as he goes for Shadow Ball. Does 37%, nothing too major. And here, I'm going to follow up and go for a Calm Mind of my own, right next to him. As he goes for a Recover, which is good for me, because I can set up as much as I want. So I'm going to go for Flamethrower here, expect Jirachi to come in, and he does not. He goes for the Calm Mind. So, I take it upon me that he does not want to switch out. So I'm going to go for my own Calm Mind. We're just going to race up here to +6. It's going to be a couple turns of just that, so I think I'm going to set to fast for this short a duration of time as we both just set up. As he goes for Will-O-Wisp here, just to burn me. Clearly didn't think about Magic Guard. As he goes for Shadow Ball now, he gets the Spadef drop, unfortunate. But I'm just going to set up, continuously just set up, as there's nothing that really scares me. Now he goes up to +4, and I'm going to go to +6, and he's going to go to +5, and then, did I go to +6, or did I just Moonblast? Yeah, I just went for the Moonblast at 56%, as he sets up another Calm Mind, and now Clefable is out here to take his life. So, Tinky Winky is out. 27 turns in, Clef is at full with +6 special attack. Jirachi comes in, which is a threat. He goes for the Iron Head. He flinches me, which is very unfortunate, but of course it is a Jirachi, so you know he can very well do that. He's gonna go for another Iron Head, and he doesn't flinch me, so I get a Flamethrower off and I can knock out Baby Sun. Now here's where my opponent makes the misplay. In my opinion, he should go on Landorus here, but he goes into the Volcanion, which gives me a chance to Soft Boil, as he only does 20% with his Sludge Wave. So, because of that, I'm now at a very comfortable health range. I can even go up to full if I do so desire, as I do. And now I'm definitely out of the range of Landorus' Earthquake, even after Sludge Wave damage. So I'm just going to go for a Moonblast here and knock out the Volcanion. So that leaves him with Landorus and Smeargle. Now Smeargle isn't exactly a lot, and he sends it in. Gets knocked out. Goodbye, Smeargle. Next in comes the Landorus, which is his last Pokemon, and that is Lala. Lala's going to go for the EQ to 66%. I'm going to go for a Moonblast and knock out Lala, and that is game 1 against Elite Four Tom. So that was my round 1 matchup, and from this round, my next matchup was Hybrid, hold on, let me read that, Hybrid Zin HD, written with an X. So that was my next opponent, and I think he had his match against Alex GTE pretty fast, so I was able to get that game done very quickly. So we're just gonna hop on over to that game and let's see how this went. So I got this squad here from my boy Megalugia. Little shout out to him. Link will be in the description to him, as he gave me that this squad. I think it's one of those referred to as a standard blender squad, but he told me to use it. And it consists of a Mega Medicham, Life Orb Latios. I'm gonna go over to the Showdown stuff because I don't know if I still have this team. I'm not sure if I have this team still. I want to check it. Hold on. I want to check it for sure, just, you know, to check the format and stuff and see like if there's any important teams that are shown here. Let me see. Hold on. So OU, do I still have that team? I do have that team. Okay. Hold on. So I'm gonna open OBS so I can see what this looks like. So you guys are gonna see something like really close to each other and stuff. I'm going to the OU folder and I can find my team right here. So I'm going to show you guys the team for this one. I'll show you guys the other team as well if I can find it. Now for this team I had Shiva the Mega Medicham, which was an Adamant Megacham with Fake Out, High Jump Kick, Thunder Punch, and Ice Punch. So Bolt Beam, HJK Fake Out, Bolt Beam Punch. Deltarium, the Life Orb Latios with Psychic, Dracometer, Defog, and HP Fire. Double Status Rotom, Spadef, Scarfrachi, Pokonati. Keldeo Resolute called Yo, but in this one I was kind of like non-PG and I just called this thing like, I think I called this thing bitch and this thing like pussy, because this thing is a coward in the movie and this thing is just a bitch to deal with, let's be real. And then I also have Shukaku, which is my Landorus Therian, standard rocker with Toxic, Earthquake, U-Turn, and Stealth Rock. So that is the team for that one, and here's the match. So let's see how this match against Hybrid Zin HD went. I'm going to lead off with my Megacham, as he's going to lead off with a Lopunny, which means he gets the guaranteed Fake Off, but I'm going to swap into Shukaku here to get that to punish him for every time he goes for Fake Out. And now he's going to swap out because he doesn't want to be no -1. I think I hard swapped into Faggot, which is my Jirachi, has to go for an Ice Punch, trying to get that skillful freeze, but that does not happen, and he gets off a clean chunk of damage on me, as I'm going to swap out into Deltarium, which is my Latios. And I'm pretty safe to click a Psychic here, as that makes the most sense. And that does a decent chunk to Sylveon. Doesn't do a massive chunk, but it does a decent one. And I'm going to go back into Pokonati, faggot. And he's going to swap into Cobalion. As I go for a U-turn here, scouting at that play, as he would obviously swap out. And this is my chance to go into Shiva. So he's going to Volt Switch here. Probably swap into the Zapdos. No, he goes into the Moongus. Very risky play against a Medicham. So on the following turn, probably just going to Ice Punch and knock your boy out. So we're up 6-5. Lopunny comes in. Lopunny is still scary, but I can go into Shukaku and punish it for every time it goes for Fake Out. I lose 10%, he loses like 14. So in the end, I will win that matchup. So I'm going to get up my Rocks here because he does do a lot of switching, and it will pressure his Zapdos to Defog, which will give me free swap-ins and stuff as he goes for another Heat Wave. Probably expecting my Rachi to come in. But I send in my Rotom here as he goes for a Defog, and I think this is where I toss off my own. I do toss off my own, as I send a Pussy to Keldeo because he's a bitch. So, yeah, Icy Wind, slow down. Didn't kill me with Thunderbolt because I knew your spread totally. I go for another Icy Wind. I think I'm pretty sure I showed you guys Specs Keldeo, so I go into Shukaku again as he goes for the Volt Switch. So I'm like, nah, son, don't try that shit with me, boy. He sends in the Zapdos, which is a very nice play on my opponent's part, but I'm going to go for Toxic, expecting him to swap out of his Cobalion. Could have been a risky play if it didn't work out for me, and I'm going to go back into 20p as he goes for a Roost. So, nice play on my opponent's part again. Props to him. He's going to withdraw now, though, and go into the Sylveon as I go for Hydro Pump, which does a decent chunk. 24% from a Spadef, and I missed my Will-O-Wisp. What is my luck? Hold on. This is going too fast. So he's going to withdraw his Sylveon here, go into his Volcanion, which I expected, so I go for a Volt Switch, even though I could have tried for the double status, but I did not. So I go into my Keldeo here, so I basically get a free... Oh, wait. Hold on. Oh yeah, I go for Keldeo because Secret Sword will do the most damage to this thing as he goes for Flamethrower, just a safe KO. So my boy Keldeo is out. And I'm going to my boy 20p again, as I can go for a Volt Switch on anything on his team, as he has no electric immunity, and neither does he have a resistance now that Moongus is dead. And I think at this point I go into my Lottie, okay? I'm going to my Latios. I thought I would go Medicham here, but I go into my Latios, I go for a Psychic and knock ya boy out. Goodbye Zapdos. Alright, so he sends in the Lopunny here, and the standard play for me is to go into Shukaku, as he has consistently only used Fake Out, which is what they call unnecessary Fake Out. But, at aggress, he goes for an Ice Punch here, reveals it, doesn't kill me, even from like 70%, it does knock me out. It only does 54 after Intimidate. I Earthquake and knock your boy out. So he sends in the Sylveon next, and I'm thinking Shukaku has done its job. I'm just going to Toxic this thing. Even though considering going for Hyper Voice, Earthquake would have been nice, but you know, Residual is my preferred style here. So I go into my Faggot, because I can just Iron Head now, pretty safely, and, but you know, don't want to do that shit. Yeah, I don't... these games were so long ago, I don't remember exactly what I did. But I did a very nice play there, U-turning, and then go for a Psychic with Latios, which knocks this Cobalion out. Yaga! So he goes into the Sylveon here, so I'm going to go for Psychic, because at this point, Latios has done his job. So I'm going to just get this thing knocked out, no problem, no problems. And then I can go into my Medicham, please. Dan, Medicham, yeah, there we go. So I go to my boy Medicham, he's going to protect on the Fake Out, no biggie. I'm cool with that and all that snazzy dazzy stuff, as I can just follow it up with an Ice Punch or a Thunder Punch, whichever I do prefer. So I go for Thunder Punch, knock Sylveon out, get the hell out of here, boy. Volcanion comes in, has 25%, and I go for Thunder Punch because I didn't want to risk the what's it called? The thingy. I mean, you guys clearly know what I'm talking about. I didn't want to risk the HJK miss. There we go. I managed to do words. So that was round 2 of the tournament. In this next matchup took some time for me to get to, because Elite Four Dan battled Glau. That match went pretty fast. But Shubes versus Toby Pyre, that match took a long time to happen, which was still a round 1 match. And then they finally did it. Toby Pyre won, and then Elite Four Dan and Toby Pyre duked it out, and Elite Four Dan won. So this was a Dan versus Dan matchup. And I'll say Elite Four Dan was the person I was kind of worried about, as in, like, this is probably where this is an opportunity for where I can get knocked out. So, you know, decided, walked into it. I looked at his team, you know, let's just observe what he brought. And I got a read of his team, looked at how it functioned and stuff like that. And I built my own team for this matchup, as I will show you guys in a second. I'll bring it back to the team builder to show you guys my team that I built for this entire tournament that I used throughout the tournament from this point on. So, I built a rock polish. I'm going to show you guys in depth here. I built a rock polish Mega Metagross with Meteor Mash, Thunder Punch, Ice Punch, and Rock Polish. Adamant, because if I can get a rock polish, then I go buy everything. So that is the reason why I brought this specific Metagross set. Next up, I have a Assault Vest, a Tornadus Therian, of course the standard spread Assault Vest and stuff, but instead of attack, I've invested into HP. Hurricane, Knockoff, U-Turn, and Heat Wave. So that is the Torn set for this one. Sub on the counter, because shout out to Pterodactyl for subbing on my counter. He subbed with his Excadrill on my counter Registeel. Hurt, sad. Choice Scarf, Excadrill, Moldbreaker with Earthquake, Iron Head, Rock Slide, and X-Scissor. X-Scissor is for those Celebies that lurk around, or Assault Vested Tangrowths, just to be able to do some damage to them if my Excadrill is my last resort. I got 20p here, Rotom Wash. Shout out to Feint Attacks for the nickname. Your boy 20p Rotom Wash with Will-O-Wisp, Volt Switch, Pain Split, and Hydro. Pretty standard Spidef Rotom. Just instead of Fist F, it's Spidef. Then we got Maribel here, Calm Mind, Moonblast, Stealth Rock, and Soft Boiled with Max Defense, Max HP, 4 Special Attack, just recommended spread really. This was like, you know, it's the Calm Mind Magikarp. It's the Magikarp Calm Mind Clef. Just a little bit more physically bulky to be able to deal with Scizor a little bit better. Of course, I could have had Flamethrower on this set, but I just kind of needed these 4 moves, so I decided to stick with them. And lastly, it's Beatdown, your boy Curon Black, with Ice Beam, Outrage, Earth Power, and Fusion Bolt. Now this is the team that I decided to bring. This is a max attack, max speed, naive nature, with 4 in special attack just to boost that Ice Beam and Earth Power a little bit. But this is like the team that I brought for the remainder of the tournament, because I felt really comfortable with this team and I decided to stick with it. So, here's my matchup against the Elite Four Dan. I'm sorry about the little transition things, hope you guys don't mind. So he tells me, good luck bro, have fun. I tell him, you too. So, you guys saw my team, but my boy Dan, Elite Four Dan, he's brought himself a Latios of his own, a Tangrowth, a Mega Metagross of his own, a Heatran, a Landorus, Therian, and a Rotom Wishiwash. So we have a couple of similar Pokemon here, especially Mega Metagross, Rotom, and yeah, I guess Mega Metagross and Rotom. I've used Latios earlier in this tournament as well as Shukaku. So the only 2 Pokemon I haven't really seen from our side at least is the Heatran and Tangrowth. But let's get in to see how this match went down. So we got Tornadus here, Tornadus lead versus his Landorus, and I'm assuming this is like a defensive Landorus of some sort. I guess maybe Scarf. That could be an opportunity as he goes for a U-turn. Very nice play scouting out my play on my opponent's side as he goes into the Heatran, and I'm not too worried about this Heatran as I have a lot of checks to it, and I send him Beatdown. Oh yeah, I guess I predicted the rocks and I didn't want that damage. Earth Power is just gonna knock your boy out. I could have been, if I was worried about a Flash Cannon, I would have gone into, I mean, it was a bit of a risk anyways, but he goes into Latios here, and I know this thing outspeed, he can drop a Draco on my head, and he is going to do that, but I send him Clefable like, nah, you don't do that shit, boy. So he's going to swap out here, go into his Metagross, which is a threat and a half. So I'm predicting that I'm going to go into sub on the counter, your boy Excadrill. He has no switch-ins to Earthquake other than his Landorus, as he goes into Rotom, forgetting about Moldbreaker, and your boy is out. I'm not sure if that crit mattered, but even so I could have just knocked him out on the following turn, as he goes now into the Landorus, and I am going to swap out into my Rotom, my own Rotom, because he doesn't have Moldbreaker EQ. So he's going to go for the knock here, knocking on my leftovers, which is a pretty nice play, but I'm very free to toss out a Will-O-Wisp, and luckily I connected. It's on Latios, so you know, I can't complain too much, but you know, I think here I make a double into Excadrill. No, I'm gonna give it to ya. My boy X gonna give it to ya. Because I expected a Psyshock here. That's why I went into Metagross, because Quad Resist and all that snazzy, fancy stuff. As he's gonna withdraw, go into his Landorus. I got that clear body. Screw yo, Intimidate. Go into Metagross, get that Rock Polish going, and your boy can start punching shit. So Ice punching out of my face, boy. So he swaps into its Tangrowth, and I'm thinking, alright, fair play. I'm gonna swap out. I don't need that shit. As he's gonna go for a Leech Seed, and I'm just like, nah, boy, nah. Grass Knot, nah. Set up my rocks, just to pressure him, potentially get him to defog because my team still don't appreciate him. As he's gonna go into his own Metagross right here, and I think I withdrew here as I go into my Tornadus. Interesting play on my side as I double into Rotom here because I'm thinking that's the only thing I can take on this Metagross. And he opts to go for the Thunder Punch, which just knocks your boy out. I was like, oh damn. Well, sub on the counter it is. Earthquake is the play, and my boy decides to stay, and he lives on like 2%, and he goes for an Ice Punch. He freezes me. I'm like, boy. This was a win con. I could have beaten him with this thing, but of course I don't, and he knocks me out with an Ice Punch. I think I can go into my Torn here now. No fret, no scares. Go for the knockoff. Thinking, okay, your boy knocked out Mega Metagross. Ain't nobody need to worry about that anymore. I looked at the calc and I assumed with the 96 attack, so I figured I would knock him out here, but I didn't, and I knocked off his Life Orb. So that's a shame. But of course, he's now at like 43 something, and okay, I'm just gonna U-turn. I'm gonna Hurricane first, potentially knock him out. But of course I missed that. So 70% accurate. It was bound to miss. So I go for a U-turn here, does 36%. I'm gonna get my HP back up and swap into X Gon Give It To You again. As he goes for a Psy Shock, in which means I can just set up here a Rock Polish if I want to, or I can just go for the Ice Punch. And then I can always swap in Clefable on Tangrowth just to end this game. No biggie, no fret. Which is exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to swap into my boy Maribel here as he goes for Grass Knot, which doesn't do a whole lot to me. And then I can set up Calm Minds and stuff. Just, take less damage from this Grass Knots. I can heal up, and then I can knock this Tangrowth out. So I set up a Calm Mind here. I think I set up a second Calm Mind. I'm pretty sure I set up a second Calm Mind. No, I Soft Boil, and then I Calm Mind, I think. Pretty sure. I'm pretty sure I got another Calm Mind off, and then Dan told me in the chat, just end this game. I'm just like, alright, GG. So I go for another Calm Mind as I think he says in the chat right here, he's like, finish it, haha. Sets up as he goes for Grass Knot. I go for a Moonblast. He barely lives it. I wish I could have Oko, but that's fine. And I said, GG. He goes for Grass Knot, does 10%, and I knock him out with a Moonblast. So that was round 3 of the Elite Four Crew Showdown tournament, OU thingy-majigger. And yeah, so right now we've knocked out both of the hosts of this tournament, and they were making like a chat. It was like, oh, we both been knocked out, we're canceling the tournament, restarting, and all that stuff. And it was just like a joke, so I was like, haha, very funny, guys. Of course we didn't, though. And this next match took quite a while to arrange. In fact, I played it this morning at 6 AM. So I literally just woke up, like, here's how it went. So last night, I was talking to Dench in a call. Then I fell asleep at like 8 PM or whatnot. I don't know why, but like on Tuesday nights, I usually do that because I'm so tired from like the school day. But like, so I passed out at like 8 PM. Woke up at like 11. We talked a little bit over Twitter and like on Discord and stuff, just starting to arrange a match. And he said he was pretty busy, right? And I was like, I'll try to wake up early tomorrow, see what happens. I woke up at like 6 and he was like, I'll stay up until like 1 CST or whatnot. So he was awake and he was like, just give me a minute or something like that. Like, just the casual start, like the casual conversation, just trying to keep it cool because he got he just advanced free basically because his opponent didn't contact him at all. So I was just like, you know what, that's fine. He got advanced, that's all I really worry about. And then Zebo and him battled. Then that's the one that's the one he advanced from, I think. And then Badger and Carp, they battled, and then he advanced, and I was like, can we battle now? And he was like, I only had time for once. I was like, damn it. But then we got around to do the battle, which is right here, same matchup and same mons and stuff. But yeah, that is the whole thing. Like that's what basically happened. We managed to play though at 6 AM this morning. So I was really tired, so some place might seem a bit off, but Oh, hold on. I want to check actually. So this was a 4-0, I think. This was a 3-0, and this was a 5-0. So my record has been pretty good in this league, I'll say, or this tournament, not league. My tournament record has been pretty good. Wow, hold on, while I keep it live. Jesus, that just ruined everything. Hold on, look at this. It looks weird. But basically, yeah, so you guys know the team, but my opponent has brought a Talonflame, Clefable, Espeon, Bisharp, Rotom Wash, and a Mega Venusaur. So let's see how my team can handle against this. So we're gonna press play here as he leads off with the Espeon, and I lead off with my boy Beatdown. Go for Fusion Bolt here, early turn, and I see I outspeed, which is kind of interesting. As he goes for a Reflect, which I'm thinking, okay, I'm just gonna knock him out with an Ice Beam, why not? Easy pickoffs. So early 6-5 lead is always good. As he goes into Bisharp, and I'm thinking, okay, I have Earth Power. Get out of here. And then he lives on like 2%, I'm like, god damn it. And he goes for a knockoff, not an Iron Head, so he knocks out my Life Orb, which reduces my damage output, but he knocks himself out because of his own Life Orb recoil. So he goes into Clefable here, I'm thinking, okay, I can just drop an Ice Beam. And the good thing about this is, since he goes for Calm Minds and stuff, like, I'm not worried about this because I have way too many checks to it. I can stall out his Reflect turns, and he has a Citrus Berry, which was kind of odd, but but I can stall out his Reflect turns. And then when the Reflect is down, if he sets up until that point, then I can just drop a Fusion Bolt on his head. So I'm just thinking here, this is fine. Like, set up all your Calm Minds and stuff. Like, I'm not worried. I don't know what you're trying to Oko here, because I have way too many checks that outspeed this thing. So he sets up a Soft Boiled here, and his Reflect is down. So I'm just like, okay, I can drop a Fusion Bolt on your head. Look at the damage, and you can't escape that damage. So he goes for a Moonblast here, knocks me out, and I'm thinking, okay, I have multiple checks to this. Sub on the counter is particularly one. I can just go for an Iron Head here and knock him out. Like, I would expect him to stay in since he was already like plus what, 4. So he goes into Rotom here, and I'm just like, okay, just gonna make a quick swap here into my own Rotom, as he opts to go for the Hydro Pump. Unfortunately, he missed. That happens. As he goes for his Volt Switch here, and I think he swapped into Venusaur, if I recall correctly here. He goes into his Venusaur, and I'm thinking, alright, that's fine. I can just Willow. I was trying to just get chip damage on the Rotom. Of course, he could have swapped into Talonflame, that would have been a weird play. He goes Mega Evolves, I'm going to go for the Volt Switch, get out of here real fast. Then I'm going to go into my Tornadus Therian, which is the ultimate, like, check to Mega Venusaur. He goes for the Sleep Powder. Unfortunately, he misses, but of course, this just allows him to swap out and maintain his Venusaur for a bit. As he goes into the Rotom Wash, I'm going to go for an Hurricane, do 18%. Confusing, I'm unfortunate, but I've missed a couple of Hurricanes in this tournament, so I just decided, you know, screw it. So I'm going to go for a knockoff here, get rid of this man's item, which is a Life Orb Talonflame. Pretty scary. But I can just go into my Rotom here, as it is a very good check to Talonflame, as he sets up a Tailwind. Pretty interesting play on my opponent's part, as he goes back into his own Rotom Wash. So I'm just going to Volt Switch out of here real fast and go into my Clefable, because my Clefable don't give a shit about the rest of his teams. Of course, he has Mega Venusaur, but I don't really care about it. So what I'm going to do right here is I think I'm going to set up my Stealth Rocks, because that allows, well, that forces the Talonflame to, like, struggle when it switches in. And I'm going to go back into my Torn here, even though I know he's probably going to Sleep Powder, and he doesn't. He connects it, which is fair. I will congratulate, you know. I'll say that's fair, you know, since he missed the first one and then lands this next one is fair. He goes into the Talon, which I'm thinking, okay, you know, I have the same swap into this thing every single time, which is 20p, the Rotom Wash. As he goes for an Overheat. I died for a moment. I'm sorry, guys. I'm probably going to cut that part out. But basically what happened here is he went for Overheat and he was ready to murderize, even though I am Assault Vested, so I probably wouldn't even have done that much. But anyways, we're going to move on. He was probably expecting to swap it into, like, Metagross maybe? Excadrill? Something like that. But I'm just going to press play and we're going to continue to see what happens. So, I mean, I eat that up. He's going to go for Brave Bird here, which does way more than an Overheat, that's for sure. And I'm going to Volt Switch out of here because he's knocked out. I mean, no fret, no worries. I can go into Excadrill here, I'm pretty sure, because Rotom can't live an Earthquake, as we've seen from earlier, especially with how low he is, and I can just, you know, Earthquake, Mold Breaker, Earthquake. Seems like a lot of people tend to forget. And then he sends in a Venusaur, which is also incredibly weak, so there was no play he could have made. He should have hoped that was Sandrush or something like that, I guess, or that he could have lived. But yeah, that is the game against DM Puff. So, this basically put me in finals contention. Like, I am ready to face off against finals. And I just had this match Just played it like right now. I'm just checking Twitter 1 second. Seems like some stuff is happening. Okay, I got a lot. I got a lot of response on this one tweet. So basically, I'm just gonna tell you guys what happened here. So basically, PK Sparks, that hotness, he tweeted out, what is the worst anime of all time? Naruto, Death Note, FMA Brotherhood, or Cory in the House? And I just said, how can you nominate Cory in the House? Easily the greatest anime of all time. So PK retweeted that, and then it's your boy Ness and at the Zem. Those 3 people retweeted, and it just got a bunch of like favorites and stuff. So it's just all over my notifications right now, and I just find it mildly entertaining. But yeah, so basically we walk into the finals. My boy Cory, Cory with an E in between the R and the Y. Banded Caterpie from the NBA, actually. I think we played him in week 3. It was the guy with the Polarity Magneton and the Mega Altaria that never Dragon Danced. Let me see if I can find his team. I think he was the Carolina Caterpies. Yeah, so his team was, from what I remember, he brought against me. He brought the Magneton, he brought the Golurk, the Tentacruel, the Umbreon, the Mega Altaria. He brought at least those 2, that one. And those, I think he brought the Gastrodon too. Not quite sure. No, he brought Magneton, Meloetta, Golurk, Umbreon, Tentacruel, and Mega Altaria. So that was the team that he brought back then, and we luckily won because he didn't Dragon Dance at any point. So lucky for us right there. And this time he's out for the revenge. It is the finals, so you know, we made it pretty far. We've done pretty well. We haven't lost like anything big. This was a 5-0 as well, I think. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, this was a 5-0 as well. That we won, so that was pretty good. So we got a 5-0 here, a 4-0 here, just recalculating them. We got a 3-0 over here, we got a 5-0 over here, and this is the team. So we got 5-0, 3-0, 4-0, 5-0, and this is the finals, where my boy Banded Caterpie, my boy Cory, has brought himself a Slowbro, Infernape, Raikou, Donphan, Mega Sableye, and a Skiza. So let's check, do we win it all, or do we get knocked out in finals? Like, are we that unfortunate that we make it into runner-up instead of like winning the whole thing? So let's just click play and see what happens. I'm gonna leave with my beat down. As he leaves with Sableye, and I don't want to catch a burn. As long as he's not Mega, I don't want to catch a Wisp, because my Outrage is still like fucking immaculate. It's great damage, and of course, if I can get my Clefable like burned, it can't be paralyzed, and it can't be paralyzed, which is the main important thing. Like Toxic, I thought about Toxic for whatever reason, but I mean the burn is whatever. It's basically the same thing. So he goes for a Volt Switch here, and what I was expecting, I wanted him to like stay in for one turn, and then get up the rocks, like try to scare out the Sableye to get up the rocks. That was kind of like my goal, and it worked. And then he's gonna swap in as I go into my Rotom Wash, because even though this thing is Spadef, Rotom Wash has been like the tank, the MVP, one of my MVPs of this team easily. And he's gonna withdraw his Scizor here and go into the Raikou, and I'm thinking, okay, that's fine. I'm gonna go for a Volt Switch, because I expected the Mega Sableye to come in to retaliate a Will-O-Wisp, or to bounce it back. But I'm going to go into Excadrill here, because Excadrill is such a safe switch into this thing, as I outspeed it. I can Earthquake anything on his team. He has no Earthquake immunities. He goes into the Donphan, though, which is a nice play. I don't have a Ghost type, so I don't have a Spin Block. So I'm going to go into Beatdown, though, because if he goes for the rocks, I don't want to take those 25%. And now he's going to swap out. So he's going to swap into Scizor. I was thinking, why does this Ice Beam switch in here? Because he really doesn't have one. And look at that damage to Scizor. He doesn't have a Ice Beam switch it. So I'm gonna go out into my Rotom Wash again, as it is easily my switch into the Scizor, as he's gonna go for a U-turn, and that did a lot of damage. But then again, I am Spadef and not Fizdef, and I can definitely use this to my advantage later on. So my man here is gonna go for a Thunderbolt. He's gonna try to knock me out, but I am Spadef, as I'm gonna follow it up with a Pain Split, because I ain't having that shit, boy. So we're both gonna get our leftovers recovery, and I gained HP from that turn, even though if it wasn't by a lot. I gained HP and he lost a lot. So I'm gonna go into Excadrill here on the following Thunderbolt. I know he doesn't have Aura Sphere, so I'm safe. And I'm gonna make a double here. I'm gonna pull a double into my Rotom again, as I expect him to go into the Donphan. But he goes into the Sableye, and I was like, oh well, god darn it. Well, I can just go for another Pain Split, and then just get some HP on him, as he goes for a Toxic. So I'm getting leftovers and toxic, all that fun snazzy dassy stuff, and I'm just gonna volt switch out of here again because I don't want to deal with this thing. And I can go into Maribel because Clefable versus Mega Sableye, Clefable wins every time. So at this point, I just want to drop a Moonblast on his face because regardless of his switch-in, he takes a lot of damage. So I am just gonna go for a Moonblast here, and then I think I went for another one. Pretty sure I went for another one here. Hold on. Oh. So he goes for a Volt Switch here as I expect him to do. I expected him to do that. And I expect him to go into Scizor, but I want to get some damage on this thing. I want to beat this thing. So I go for a Calm Mind actually. Okay, very interesting play on my own part here. I completely forgot what ran through my head and I just literally had this game. And I predict him to over-predict here. I didn't, and I was also out of Bullet Punch range. So I decided to stay and go for the Moonblast, and even so, at the point I was at, I was still out of Bullet Punch range, so I decided to go for another Moonblast, and I could knock him out. So a huge threat to my team, gone. Like, I was just, okay. So in comes Infernape, my boy, we know the god. He goes for Flare Blitz, I live that shit, max defense, Clefable, let's go. So I go for a soft boiled here, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm gonna go for one more. I'll be fine, I can go for one more, then I can knock him out with a Moonblast. And he crits me, so I was like, alright. I mean, that's fair, that's fair, that's fair. When I play passive like I did, my boy gets knocked out. So I can go into Torn here pretty safely without, like, just knock him out. Of course, I couldn't really safely do it, but I could scare him out at least. And I go for Hurricane and I miss. I was like, god damn it. My boy Chase to be blind. So I go for another one and he gets confused, which I'm thinking like, okay, good, awesome. And he goes for Foul Play and I'm thinking, I mean, Chaser isn't really here for more. And I miss another goddamn Hurricane. But he hurts himself in confusion. I get a high roll on my Hurricane on the next turn and knock the Sableye out. So I'm pretty happy right now. And I'm thinking he might Ice Shard. I mean, I kind of still need my Torn for a little bit. So I'm going to my Rotom Wash. Now he goes for the Rapid Spin. So I was like, very nice play on my opponent's part, definitely. There was nothing I could have done to stop it. Even if, like, I think you're Assault Twisted or something probably, since you decided to swap it on Torn so effortlessly. But I go for the Hydro Pump on his Ice Shard, so I get that KO with my boy Rotom though. So he goes into Raikou now as he knows how much the Thunderbolt can do. But I'm just going to swap into Sub on the counter, my Excadrill, because it's a very easy switch in. And he decides to Shadow Ball, so which a very nice play indeed. It wouldn't have knocked out my Rotom, but it would have put it in range, of course, and all that stuff. So I'm going for an Earthquake right here, just knock out the Raikou. Huge, another threat gone. So I basically just need to get rid of the Infernape. So I decided to swap in here into my Rotom Wash as he goes for the Scald. Can't knock me out, and I'm thinking, okay, I can go for a Pain Split here. Like, I wanted Volt Switch, but I kind of want a Pain Split as well, just to get some HP back. And he goes into the Infernape, and I go for the Pain Split. I gain like 5 HP or whatnot, but HP is HP. And then I'm going to go for a Volt Switch on this turn as he swaps back into the Slowbro. Pretty interesting play. Probably expecting a Hydro Pump or something. I don't know why I would do that, but he could have expected it. So he goes into Slowbro, and I go into my boy Kieran Black. Even if it was max defense, this Fusion Bolt would have knocked him out. So I did decide to go for the Fusion Bolt in the end, and that shit knocks him the fuck out. Like, goodbye. So he sends in his Infernape here, which is his last Pokemon. Goes for the Mach Punch, doesn't even kill my Kieran Black, like, beat down, my friends. I go for Earth, or Power, I was about to say Earthquake, but no. I go for Earth Power, Infernape falls, Kieran Black falls to the Life Orb Recoil, and we win the entire Elite Four Crew Showdown tournament thingy of stuff and things. Yes, Elite Four Crew Showdown tournament OU style thingy. But yeah, basically that we won. That's the main point. We did it. We did good. We beat everyone and took title. We knocked out both of the Elite Four Crew people. So that was actually pretty funny to like knock out both of them and shit. So I was like, yay. But yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this tournament, or anything at all, like if you enjoyed my cranky commentary style or whatever, if you enjoyed anything of this video, be sure to smash that like button down below. You know, that support is greatly appreciated. Subscribe to the channel if you feel inclined to and you want to support, because yeah boy, we're traveling though, and we're getting far. We're making it places. Sun and Moon is around the corner, and you know, trying to keep motivation up isn't the easiest. I mean, I'm not trying to tell you just like, oh no, go subscribe please, but no, it's not like that. I'm just happy you guys are here, and if you want to support, just hit that subscribe button, man. Leave a like, comment some nice stuff down below, because that shit makes my day when I see you guys comment down below. Give me some nice feedback, or even some constructive criticism to make me a better YouTuber. I appreciate that, as long as you don't just go in like trying to be a dick. Because if you are, I can just get you out of the comment section, no problem. But if you're nice, or you're giving me constructive, or like, I don't know, if you're trying to give me criticism, just be fair with it, and don't act like an asshole. But with that being said, I'm gonna get out of here. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.